Yeah, obviously Callum Smith's going to knock out Beterbiev and then fight Dmitry Bivol for the Undisputed Championship. I can actually see the knockout now. If you close your eyes, everyone play this little game at home. Close your eyes, slip, bang, left hook, out. And Callum Smith is the unified world champion.
Yeah, of course, this is boxing. Everything could happen, and year by year we are not getting younger. And but still, we see on boxing styles. If we see on Callum Smith boxing style, he letting his opponent to come too close, but he's tall, but he's letting them to come close. And for Beterbiev, he likes it.
Who would you rather face, Beterbiev or Smith?
To be honest, doesn't matter for me. I just think about belts. Even this fight, I didn't think too much about which person against me. I thought about who's better for ranking and who has, and he had belt, and it was excited for me.
Been watching him, looking good, and what I'm looking forward to. Massive chance, massive opportunity for Callum to become a 2-weight world champion, win 3 belts at light heavyweight, and it's one we're very confident in. We stopped everyone he's been in the ring with, and he'll try no difference against Callum. But do that at your own risk of being flattened yourself. And I think Callum Smith's one of the biggest light heavyweight punchers in the division at the moment. And if Anthony Yarde can hurt him and rock him to his boots, and Callum Johnson can drop him, Callum Smith can knock him flat out. And we take confidence off every fight Beterbiev's had. You've got your pros and you've got your cons. And yeah, he's an animal. Yeah, he's a massive puncher. Yeah, he's a very, very good fighter also, not just a massive puncher. But yes, he's vulnerable. Yes, he's been down. Yes, he gets hit. Yes, he's getting very, very old. He's 39, I think. Could even be 40. I think he's 40 a week later. I'm sure he's 40 or he's 39 a week later. Again, that's going to take a toll sooner or later. But I just think if it's the same Artur Beterbiev we got against Anthony Yarde, Callum Smith wins.
That's a great fight, and I think it could be timing right for Smith. Beterbiev is old, but you see the chinks in his armour even against Yarde. And in my opinion, it's just a much better champion than Yarde, even at light heavy. So I'm leaning towards Callum Smith on that one.
I could stand here and tell you every single positive for Callum, the fact that it's gone, but there's also some positives for him. But he is 39, and we see it time and again in boxing. Fighters will just age overnight, and it's not the last fight that there was signs. It's this fight that you get in, he's just not there. I felt it myself. It just happens. Age catches up with you. He's 39. He hasn't exactly had easy fights, even though there hasn't been all that many. They're only 18 or 19. He's had a lot of hard fights as well, and a lot of hard camps. And he trains really hard, obviously, as you can imagine. And he'll put his body through the mill when he is training. But it's not, I'll never forget the conversation I had with Callum when we were mentioning it, and he just said to me, look, I'm more confident in my chin, I'm more confident in my non-punching hand. You've been down before, you've been here before, I haven't, and if other people can put you down, I'm very confident I can keep you down. And for me, that ticks a lot of boxes for me, and I know obviously how good Beterbiev is. I've watched him for a long time, we've known about him for years before he was a pro, and he's some fighter, but Father Time catches up with everyone. And it's not that we're just hoping on that either, by the way. Beterbiev in his prime and Callum in his prime, I'd be still very, very quietly confident on what he can do. I'm not screaming for the rooftops, Callum's going to knock him out, watch it, but I'm very confident that he will. And people are going to say I'm biased because he's my brother, that's fine, but I also know him better than most people because I see him up close and I know what he can do up close. And the people that know what he can do up close are very, very confident in Callum.
Well, what's Beterbiev now? He's late 30s, isn't he? Callum Smith, his talent, technique is brilliant. He really is. Callum obviously been world champion, and he's fought these type of guys in the past. But with Beterbiev, it's keeping him at bay. He's very, very strong when he gets to you. It's breaking him down. But Callum's got he's got the talent and got the skill to do that. What I think he's got to do mainly is try and box from the centre of the ring, keep him on the outside, don't let him push you back. Even when he does come forward, if you can grab and hold and then push off and then start again, but stay in the centre of the ring. If Beterbiev pushes you back to the ropes, then he really unloads, and we know how tough and how powerful he is. But for me, can Callum do it? Of course he can do it, because when you got that type of skill, of course you can do it. But yeah, it's probably the toughest fight in the light heavyweight division, along with a Bivol fight.
Beterbiev and Smith, I think it's time for Smith. I mean, I love Beterbiev to death, but the man's about 74 years of age and he's been in hard fights since he was 9.
I think it's right for Callum Smith at any other time in his career. Of course, he cannot. The one thing that worries me about Callum is how he succumbed to Canelo, how he covered up and just didn't do anything against Canelo. Beterbiev hits way harder than Canelo. So, but he's at a different weight. He didn't take the fight on short notice. He has the tools to pull it out if he can hurt Beterbiev, but if he can't hurt Beterbiev, it's going to be a tough fight. Beterbiev is a very clever fighter. He knows how to maneuver you in the ring where he wants to maneuver you. And he throws his hands and wrists and forearms are so strong that he don't have to load up on the punch to knock you senseless. So it's a situation where you got to be careful, you got to be calculated in winning the fight, and you got to be able not to take that big shot.
Very good fight, tough fight for both of them. I say if you are going to fight Beterbiev, it's the right time to catch him now. He looks like he's slowing down a little bit. It's not like he's not been hurt before, he's been dropped before, so. And stylistically, Callum's probably the best person who can do it. Now he's tall, he can punch, he can fight on the inside. But it's interesting.
You never judge by age, especially today. I mean, you don't never judge. You know, I mean, some people get smarter and better with age, so you don't judge it. You just got to prepare for a young warrior, which Beterbiev is. So that's what we were focusing on. I'm not focusing on an older guy, none of that. I was going to turn it to a shootout eventually. You know what I mean? But, you know, my guy's going to come out on top.
Callum just has to be himself. From the last times I've seen of him, he seems very confident. There's this air of confidence about him, and I think he's going to definitely need that. I think it's a good fight between two massive punchers. And, you know, the fact we're trained by the same coach, I wish him all the best, and I hope he actually comes away with the win. It'll be great to have a unified light heavyweight champion in a country. Maybe he can give one to me or something.
I'm going to say that Callum Smith chins him. Yeah, I'm going to say time's right. I'm going to get slaughtered on here. But I don't know, he's looked a little vulnerable. And the first thing that goes on a fighter is your punch resistance. I think he's a bigger puncher. Moving up to light heavy is Callum Smith. We see that at White Hart Lane, didn't we? Flipping heck. What a knockout that was. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, if the opposite was to happen, one, I would expect to be looking silly, but I wouldn't be shocked. You know, what a ridiculous puncher he is. He's a freak of nature, Beterbiev. But yeah, I just think he's going to get caught, and Callum Smith is, this is no disrespect as well, he's a better fighter than Yard. You know, a bigger puncher in my opinion as well. He's more accurate, he's quicker, and yeah. It's one of those, like, it is a toss of a coin. It could be who hits who first, but I really, really believe that Beterbiev's resistance around the whiskers is starting to fade a little bit, and that's a bad thing to be losing against Callum Smith.
I think timing. I think Callum's got a great left hook. I think Callum at light heavyweight as well, he's not killing himself. Do you know how big that guy is? To think what he achieved at super middleweight is outstanding considering how big he is. And I know they said, oh yeah, at the time, yeah, he made the weight comfortably. Yeah, but he'll make the weight comfortably, but he'll perform so much better with half a stone stuck on him, you know. And I think at light heavyweight when he's fought, he looked very, very strong. Like you say, I think timing. I think Beterbiev is outstanding and he's scary. One scary dude. That beard makes him look even more scarier. But I just think that Callum will time him onto a shot, and he can get hurt, and he does get hurt early as well. I fancy Callum to beat him. I really do. I think it's. I think it's a dangerous fight. It's a real dangerous fight. But I think that his height, his range, his freshness in the division as well, and his freshness full stop in comparison to Beterbiev, I think that will play a major part. And I think he beats him. I think he stops him.
I think if anyone's going to do it, he's got the biggest chance of everyone because of the fighting style. And Beterbiev, he's a beast, and he's just battered everyone literally. But there are chinks in his armour, and if anyone can expose that, it's Callum. You know, he's an accurate puncher. He's a big man for every division. You know, he obviously his performance against Canelo. You could look at that and now say, well, let's look at Beterbiev, let's look at Canelo. I think there's two different styles of fighters. I think Beterbiev there to be it with the clean shot, and we've seen that with that anti-yard fight. So of course I'm going to say yeah, because of the relationship with the Smith family and from my heart, I think the timing is perfect. Beterbiev is in the same Olympics as me. I think he's the same age as me. I'm 39 now. He can't be far off me. So
I think he's 38. So
actually, I'm 40 now. I'm 40. So I forgot how old I was. I'm 40. He's 38. Callum must be 30. You know, when you think back to how you felt when you're 30, he's got more miles on the clock, definitely. And Callum wouldn't have took this fight unless he thought it was winnable. So I'm going to say I think Callum can do this.
I think Smith's got it. I think the timing is right for Smith to win this fight. I think the injury to Beterbiev last year has probably hampered him in a way. And I think the time is good now for Callum to go and become a 2-weight world champion.
Look, he's a big lump. He's heavy-handed, and he's quite good at cutting the ring off and making your fighters fight. But I believe I'm a good, intelligent fighter who's heavy-handed, and if I start to be smart and box when I need to box and fight when I need to fight, and just I've been listening to Buddy and little things we feel awake on the night. He's a good fighter, but there is holes in him. He can be hit, he can be hurt, and I've always just had full confidence in my own ability that, providing I get it right on the night, I can go there and take his belts off him and bring them back home.